I'm Karen.
And I'm Rob. And Karen, we are introducing a very special guest. We're doing a quick little one hit, just a little update with our good buddy Boyd Martin. Boyd, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Guys, how are you? Glad to be on here. Hope you're doing well, and maybe you should separate a little bit.
A little social, yeah. She's I've been vaccinated. You know what I
Can't stay
mean?
away.
She can't. I try to push her off, and she just can't. How can she resist, Boyd? You know what I mean? So clearly, Boyd's over in Windurra. So it looks you got the beautiful background going.
Yep. So, Boyd, how is the COVID-19 affecting you?
Oh, it's very, very strange. I mean, part of it I'm really, really enjoying. It's a very much a more laid back life. There's no 4 o'clock in the morning alarms, rushing off to plantation horse trials, or it's the farm's very, very quiet. There's no lessons coming in, people riding here, and no owners coming to look at their horses. So it's in a weird kind of way, part of it's really, really good, where we're just completely focusing on the training of the horses and improvement of the riders that work for me, and that sort of thing. And but obviously, like everyone else, we're taking a little bit of a hit with a little bit less income. Cross country schooling has hardly been used this year. No primary and no teaching, no clinics or anything like that. So it's a little bit good, but a lot frustrating.
What type of percentage of a hit? Like, have you thought looked at the percentage of how much that has hit the pocketbook there?
I'm not sure. I mean, the weirdest thing is that when I say we, all my crew here, I've probably got 7 or 8 guys that work for me. I mean, we're working as hard as ever. Like everyone horse gets trained properly. We're hard at it all day, every day. It's so the like you said, the income has dropped a fair bit. I mean, I'd say we're down. Money coming in, well, there's no teaching. I'd say we're down like 30 or 40% of our income. So I'd say if we're lucky at the moment, we're just. If we're lucky, we're just basically the money we're earning at the moment is just horses in training, and that is not very much of a profit margin on that. So I'm hoping that we're just about breaking even, but yeah, we're definitely not making much money.
Whew,
Wow.
that's terrible.
Now, is there any benefits to having this extra time off?
There's probably been a few advantages. I think the horses are getting trained a lot better. They're not going to competitions all the time. They're a lot sounder. I've got to say, I've got a very, very sound group of horses just because we've stopped competing and galloping the horses. And family-wise, I think it's awesome being at home 7 days a week with my kids and Silver. And I think the guys that work for me, they're probably getting a little more time me coaching them just because I'm here a lot more and on the ground and able to help them with their riding a little bit more. So there are a couple of positives to come out of the old coronavirus.
Yeah. And what about the Olympics being? Obviously the Olympics were postponed at least a year now. Hopefully that's it. And then following that will be a WEG year, if I'm not mistaken, right? If I do my math right. So do you think there's any? What do you think about that whole thing? Does that help you having that push back a year, or you think you were primed and ready to go? Or
yeah, I mean, I got to say, I as far as Olympic goes, I've obviously done 2 at London and Rio, and this year I really felt that I had the most sort of informed horse, or as a period in time where I thought that I was really in a position to do really well. But at the same time, like you also everyone sort of before the Olympics got cancelled, we were sort of all expecting the Olympics to get cancelled. So you're sort of half preparing yourself that this big event that you've been aiming for is not going to happen. And to be quite honest, I mean, the Olympics is awesome, but that's not the whole reason I do sport. It's a major goal in my life, but it's not the reason that gets me out of bed or fires me up. So you just got to roll with the punches, Rob. I think this virus is obviously massive and it's taking lives around the world. And if the Olympics happens next year, I hope I'm there, and I hope my horse is in great form. But if it doesn't happen, or I've missed my window, such as life, mate. You just keep rocking on, and there's got to be this sport that sort of spurs you on and motivates you. So I think the Olympics is a great thing, but it's not the end of the world.
Gotcha. Right on. Right on.
Now, we've been seeing a lot of video of your new exercise pen. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, shout out to Kyle Carter. Everyone, I put on a video of it on Facebook, and everyone thinks I'm a genius. But Kyle Carter actually has come up with this invention. He's called it a conditioning pond. By the way, I'll take full credit. Thanks, Kyle. It's a conditioning pond. So, a racehorse mate of mine in Australia called Pat Starr, who's the trainer there, submerges his horses right up, about 4 foot deep, and gets them fit that way. And then I saw Kyle Carter's pond that he had much less water, where the horses are sort of really creating like almost a passage type motion when they're trotting through it. So, yeah, we built this pond. Eric Bull built it. He's built all my water jumps here. And it's a pond that's you can sort of have from anywhere from 2 inches deep to 4 foot deep. And we've had it in for a week at the moment. So we're just trying to figure out how it all works. So at the moment, we're lunging the horses in the water, which is about 1 foot deep. And it's we're doing 10 minutes lunging on each horse once a week, and it really gets them blowing, and it makes them sort of work almost like they're going over trot poles, like their hind end has to hop up. And Silver takes her dressage horses in there. She rides them in there a little bit more than us. And then today and tomorrow we're walking the horses with the rider in there. So it's basically a cheap man's aquatread, where the horses sort of walk in there for 20 or 30 minutes with their necks down and quite a forward, strong walk. So I don't think it's a complete game changer, but I'm hoping it sort of builds up a bit of strength and endurance and muscling on the top line. So we'll just see what the benefits are. But it's a pretty cool thing. When you get something new, you like to use it lots and lots. And I hope it's part of our training here going forward.
Gotcha. And the sort of cross country is open the 1st of May. And so, can you tell us a little bit about, you have the cross country, the gallops, what all is available for people to come in and trailer in for? And is that new water conditioning pond open for business, or is that private to you guys?
Yeah, Rob, we're basically opening everything up. The governor of Pennsylvania is starting to open up activities like camping, and golf courses are open. And so I've sort of figured that we're under that banner, just because cross-country schooling, you're very much at a social distance apart. And so we're going to officially open that up. I've had a couple of my mates coming over just quietly, but we're opening it up to the public on Friday. And obviously the ground's beautiful out there. We've got the course set, and I'm hoping these events start opening up. They're talking about next month. They'll be open. The eventing will start, so people will need to start schooling their horses and getting them ready again. And we've got the gallop track open, and people can come use the conditioning pond and the jump ring behind us. So it's a good sport, equestrian, just because it's a one-person sport, and you're far enough away from each other. I think it's a safe enough sport that we can gently keep chipping away with lessons, and the idea of using it's different to wrestling or basketball, where you're physically touching other people. So I'm hoping the sport horses or the equestrian sports get cracking on pretty soon.
Gotcha. And we mentioned earlier about the good horses that you have coming up. I think you might, I don't know, as far as I can tell, you have about the deepest string of horses going right now between seasoned veterans and up and coming horses. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have over there? I mean, it's incredible the amount of horses that you have that are all getting ready to really hit the advanced and 4- and 5-star levels.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a combination of a lot of things. Basically Silver and I started our business probably in 2008, 2009. And, to start with, you got to take on all comers and fill your place up with anyone that wants to send you a horse. And probably about 2012, I started to get in a position where you could select horses and pick them. And, you know, a lot of these horses were 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. And, you know, it's such a long process. So a lot of those horses that we picked, you know, 8 years ago are now in their prime and hitting the advanced ranks. And, you know, I think each year we're trying to pick up a new horse, a younger horse, and develop it. And it's such a long process. But you are right. I think we've got an awesome squadron of horses at the moment. We've got a very deep pool of upper level horses all the way down to 2-year-olds, you know, and trying to sift through them and pick the best ones and pick the strong ones, and if ones that aren't quite up to it, try and relocate it to a lower level rider. And you know, and at the same time, it's always a juggling act of finding owners. And you know, sadly, I've lost a couple of really top sponsors this year, and Steve Launer and Trish Boone, and so it's a hard game, mate, just because you need really good horses. Then you need awesome people to back them, a great, hard-working, dedicated group of staff to help you work through them. And yeah, it's a tough process, mate. It's a never-ending struggle.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you definitely manage it well. Mm-hmm. So for anyone that listens to us regularly, they know our son Joe works for you. He's been there for a couple years with you, and we keep seeing videos of you walking around with crutches and all this stuff. And we asked Joe about that. Joe said, since you're getting a little older, you're slower, so you can't quite catch the people to beat them. Yet that's what you're using the crutches for. I wonder, is that true, that it's all about just beating the working students with the crutches?
Yeah. So last week I snuck in for a surgery. I got both my hips scoped out. It was a surgery that I was supposed to get done at the end of this year. And the team doctor, Dr. Mark Hart, got me the best surgeon in America. And they shaved off a bit of bone and carved off a few spurs and stitched up a tear that I had in both hips. And I think I'll have a lot more mobility, and it should prolong my career. And it's like I said, I was planning on getting it at the end of this year, but I snuck in, got it done now while it's a little bit of downtime, and I should be back on the horses pretty soon.
Fantastic.
Great.
Well, that's good. So it's not true. He's not beating the workers with the crutches.
At least he didn't admit to it.
At least he didn't admit to it. Awesome. Now, hey, we also were talking. You were mentioning that since you're kind of we're in this little bit of lull, you're kind of opening up a special opportunity to some young riders. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so basically, Silver and I just built this awesome accommodation here at our farm. It's got 9 bedrooms, and it's like an apartment type place to house some of our staff and then people that want to come train with us. And I figured the next 4 to 8 weeks are going to be pretty quiet, so I'm going to put an offer out there. Going to try and get 4 to 5 or really serious amateurs that want to come base here. And for 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, they can come stay here, accommodation here, they get training every day, they keep their horse here. And it's a little bit of a lockdown. You can't come and go as you please. And we're still taking the coronavirus very serious here, so there's no parents hanging around or anything like that. So but I'm sure there's riders out there that are eager to progress and really get something out of this downtime. And it's an opportunity out there for anyone that really wants to work hard, improve their riding. We've got the cross imagine your need for your horses right here. So if anyone's interested, they can get in touch with me.
Awesome. Well, Boyd, thank you so much. We know you're busy out there on the cross country. You got people riding behind you. It looks beautiful and a little cloudy, a little windy. But thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Been a lot worse.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Guys. All right. Good to see you.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Take care.